Hi, this is Howie working on VCRs and VCR tapes. Don't know what part this may become, but right now this one here I'm repairing. I got a stuck tape in there and something doesn't want to work. Something either broke or a belt or a motor or something. So I'm working on this. I also work on tapes. I got about 10, 12 more tapes here that have gone bad over time, and I work on them. So what I'm going to show you here is, after, you're going to need a screwdriver that fits the screws correctly, and there should be 5 screws in it on the back side. This is the VCR tape. You have to be very, very careful when you open it up. You take the screws out. You have to slice over here the label. If you got a label on it, you got to slice it with a razor blade before it can come apart. Otherwise you have a problem. And you pick it up. I'm going to try and do this with one hand. Very carefully, because springs, and I mean watch very carefully, take the lid off, flip it over. Now some things might come apart. I'm going to try and use my screwdriver. There is a spring right there. If you can see that, there's a spring right there on the door. That's the door, and it will come apart until it's put back together. So you might lose this spring and the door. So you gotta just gotta keep it there. Now this tape has come apart. I don't know if there's even anything on it. I'm using this tape and these parts for rebuilding them as I go along. Okay, so I have some tape. I have an empty reel. I've already stripped some parts out of this. These are the locks. These are the locks. And there's a little thing there when it goes in, and there's supposed to be another lock here. Sometimes they look just like this. They're made out of nylon or whatever, and they break. When they're broke, you can't get parts. You have to strip it from another bad tape that's been broken or whatever. And then over here, it could have the same thing, nylon, or it could be a harder plastic type nylon that has a spring on it. So when you take it apart, you got to really watch. Another thing to watch out for is right here is where the tape is going to go between this little pin and around this thing here, and you got to watch out for these. They might fall out or come out. That you got to remember where they go. There's one on each end. They just fit in there. Now over here, you've got the same thing, steel thing where the tape is going to go around through this, and might come apart. A little plastic roller. Then they would lift out. They would lift out. See, and you can see that tape has been broke. And all you got to do is splice it back together. You splice it on a 45 degree and put a piece of tape on it. Make sure there's no sticky sides, and trim it all off, and you're as good as new. And you either lose a few frames, or you know the way these tapes work. So I hope this teaches you something. Next part will be, I'll show you one that has all the parts. Thank you.